All right, growing and operating a business. And again, like I said, everything I'm going through today goes in more depth later, so that's why we're cruising through things. I want to leave some time for questions. But constantly check your assumptions. Is your idea still compelling? Make sure what you were building will scale. There are several people in this room who thought they could scale, and then they had a whole bunch of PR and got tech crunched and got some notoriety on the web, and suddenly everything went. Make sure you know how to scale your business. And by the way, for those of you who aren't doing tech and are doing human businesses with low tech and are doing customer service or other things, how are you going to scale it, right? If you got a partner, if there's two of you starting a business, is one of you ever going to be able to take vacation? The answer may be no, and that's fine if you never want to take vacation, but how do you scale, how do you support when you're in that situation? Be incredibly insane about the customer experience. You get one shot with most customers. You definitely only get one shot with the press. You definitely only get one shot with big corporate customers. You get one shot per VC. Make sure that you don't go too early and be maniacal about their experience. Don't be afraid to get help. Nobody knows everything. The people who I've invested in who ask me for regular help, I feel it's interesting. I feel not only a general sense of trust because they're coming and asking me questions, and respect because they're self-aware of what they need help with. But when things go bad, I feel like more of a partner or an executive with them than just the funding guy. And so usually people who invest in you and mentors that you've engaged, the better you keep them engaged and get help when you need it, the more sense of ownership they're going to have in personal feelings if things go wrong. I'm going to now take 30 seconds out to do an advertisement for one of our companies. I know you don't get to come here for free. I say find smart tech guys and work in the cloud. This is a Pogo plug. Anybody know what a Pogo plug is? All right, since the word's getting out a little bit. So 10 years ago when I started as a venture capitalist, it was $1 million minimum for anybody here to start a company on the internet. You'd go buy servers, you had host it, you do a ton of shit. Now you call up Amazon, or you don't even call them up, you just go online, you pay them about 20 bucks and they can host something. Or perhaps you're even cheaper than that. This is Pogo plug. Basically it's a little box, costs 100 bucks. There's no monthly fee. You can plug any external hard drive into it, and from that to the back of your router. On your entire network, whether it's home or office, you will see this hard drive as a separate hard drive. You can drag stuff and drop it over just like a normal hard drive, but then you can access it from anywhere on the internet, set permissions to share things with people all over the internet. You could start your entire business on the damn thing and host your own site and use this as your entire backbone for $100 and the price of the internet. Speaking of which, yesterday I upgraded to Comcast Extreme. I've got 50 megabits down and 15 megabits up. $100 a month, $100 Pogo plug, boom, you got a business started. And I'm actually giving this away, told by random to the two ladies sitting back there, and we just started a business, an interior design business recently, and I think they actually need this. So you can come grab your parting gift after this. Thank you for coming. But anyway, pogoplug.com. Next. Always ask yourself how the hell you're going to make money, because it changed. Yep, no, you can't have a Pogo plug.
I just wanted to know if you could talk a little bit more about the comment about being insane about your customer experience. And then you threw me when you said you only get one shot with VCs.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about how Guy Kawasaki talks about the idea of build, sell, sell, sell.
Yep.
So how do you balance out wanting to do the best you can with not being too afraid to go out there and get turned down?
So you only get one chance to make a first impression. Wasn't that a deodorant commercial back in the 70s or something like that? I mean it. You only get one chance to make a first impression. And that's all this says. It doesn't mean you have to be done. It doesn't say stay in your parents' basement and keep creating, and then say, okay, I'm done, now I'm going to go to VCs or customers. Because what's going to happen then is maybe you've created something great, but you've wasted so much money in the competition's past you. Maybe it would have been a good idea to talk to some customers or a VC to get some feedback and adapt what you're doing. All I'm saying is be whatever that customer experience is, whether it's going to them and saying, here's what I'm going to build. Here's pieces, here's screenshots of what I think I'm going to do. Just make sure that you're not haphazard and you're not loose about what the customer experience is. If you're selling technology, people are going to be, early adopters are totally willing and able to deal with bugs. Have an open alpha, have an open beta. But again, the stuff that you can control, don't do the stupid stuff. Whether it's purchase flow, you're selling something, whether it's simple as, I'll rip on two people who shall remain nameless but had to buy me a bottle of wine because they said, please try our software, and it took me 8 times to log into the damn site. right? You get one chance, and if they hadn't been a Techstars team, it's so damn nice, and Bobby the Wine, I probably would have said fuck off. So that's what I mean. Right, Nate and Natty? Yes.
Can you talk about building scale and what you've seen are like 3 pitfalls that people run into?
I think the biggest pitfall these days is people being cheap. And it's weird. I know you don't have any money when you start a company. Actual conversation a few weeks ago with one of my teams, not to name names, Alex, is the question was, did they have scalable architecture? And the answer was yes. And so they were buying Amazon boxes in the back and whatever. And I was like, have you tested this? Like, if you get tech crunched again, can you handle the load? And the answer was, yeah, I think so. You think so? You know, and what was interesting was when we broke it down, we found it was like an extra, what, $1,000 a month? Less. It was $600 a month. It was some stupid number that nobody had ever really thought, what does this cost? And they didn't want to buy 10x the capacity they needed. And for $600 a month, I'm like, do it. Like, for $600 a month, go buy extra. I mean, we're living in a much different world than we were 10 years ago. And those of us who grew up back then have these preconceived notions of scale costs a lot of money. If it's architected correctly, what I've seen is stuff scales pretty well. And you know, if you're not doing rocket science and need a ton of computation, you can use the cloud to supply the scale. But you know, there's also the human scale. You know, as a founder of a company, you're the first one who's going to hit the wall. You're going to be doing everything. You're going to be a sales guy, tech guy, BD guy, CFO, all this. Oh yeah, you're also going to be the secretary because people are going to want to schedule things with you. You need to have a plan to scale. And what I've always told CEOs is you usually see CEOs, you know, productivity, 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 bam. Then there's flail, 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 which is where I as an investor have to decide, is this person still the right CEO? The good ones then get their heads out of their asses and figure out how to scale, and then they do this, and then they fall again, and you'll see that. And that's a totally normal progression. I can all, you know, and so there's the, you know, I'm not going to sit here and bore you and pretend I'm the smartest technology guy in the world, because I'm not. But make sure it's not just a technology scale, but there's also a people scale.
Can you talk about sales scale, you know, direct versus partners versus the, you know, a SaaS solution or something like that? Those 3 interplay.
I'm probably going to piss off some people here, but I think one of the mistakes a lot of startups make is hiring a sales guy too early. A lot of people start a company, get an idea, and then they say, okay, I have a product now, so what do I do with the product? Well, I need to sell it. Okay, what do I need to do to sell it? Well, I need to go hire a salesperson to sell it. What's wrong with that? They don't know their product. And by the way, if you, the founder, the person who believes more in this company than anybody in the whole world, can't go out and passionately sell this product to somebody, there's something really wrong. And 2, how the hell are you going to train a sales guy if you can't do it? The best salespeople in the whole world are the founders and the people who are in love with their idea, not the hired guns. There's nothing wrong with sales guys. But the biggest mistake, you know, going and hiring a sales guy too early is really, really expensive, and I've seen a lot of companies get hurt. And whether it's SaaS or channels or whatnot, it doesn't matter. Go yourself with the product, carry a bag, get on an airplane. As much as United Airlines sucks, Southwest is a lot better. Go and get on a plane and see if you can sell it. Once you figure out the magic, or at least some of the magic, then maybe think about hiring and bringing in a pro who can help scale an organization and understand the difference between business development and channels and all these other ways to do it. Keep going. I talked about always thinking about how you make money. I said even Twitter had a plan. You may not know that, but they did from day one. I'm not going to tell you about that because I'd be breaching their confidence, but trust me, they did. Try to be a scavenger, or is that right? Yes, some sort of leech or parasite. Leverage other people's platforms if you can. I mean, Zynga, our gaming company, is a prime example of that. If you've played any casual games on Facebook, you know Zynga. They're just a parasite to Facebook, letting them run, and it's great. And I say that tongue-in-cheek. They've obviously done a lot of code and whatnot, but they're using somebody else's platform. StopTwits, which is another one of our investments, is leveraging the Twitter platform. And then, as I say, be really stingy in hiring non-tech people like me. We like to talk a lot. We don't add much.